Hey everybody, another night, another movie, and I just got done watching 1976's The Big Bus, starring Joseph Bologna, Stockard Channing, John Beck, and Ned Beatty. This one I've seen numerous times over the years. I remember seeing it when I was quite young actually, and then I've watched it a good couple of times since I got it on DVD. For those who don't know, it's your classic disaster movie parody. It even starts with the classic, you've seen movies about big sinking ships and big buildings burning and big earthquakes, but this is a tale of the big bus. It does it so tongue-in-cheek and so cheesy. Um, it's surprising to think that this wasn't one of the ones that kind of followed Airplane. This actually was made several years before Airplane. So I think actually Airplane probably got some good tips and improved upon stuff that's done in this. But basically, yeah, it's about the first non-stop nuclear-powered bus that's humongous. It's like two buses squelched together, called Cyclops, because of its big beam at the single beam at the front, and it's non-stop from New York to Denver. I don't know how special that was at the time, or if that is the joke. I don't want to go on about how big a joke that is, if actually it turned out buses weren't going too far at that time. But yeah, it's so silly. It's all visual gags, and it's watching as there's this arch villain called Iron Man who's in this big iron lung, who really wants to see the bus fail. So he's sending out these people to put bombs on it and everything, and it's watching as the complete bizarre collection of passengers kind of argue and bounce off each other. And of course you've got your classic scenes of the captain, played by Joseph Bologna, Dan Torrance, which was the name of the kid in The Shining. Now, I'm pretty sure The Shining was before this, so that would be hilarious if, because I remember the first time I was able to draw that correlation, I was like, dude, is that Danny grown up? That would be awesome. Um, but yeah, you have the classic scenes where the captain, the driver of the bus is like, oh, we can't let the passengers know, and they can all hear over the intercom in the back and stuff. And it's funny because I'm then going, oh, it's that classic thing. But actually, like I say, this came before Airplane. And Airplane I'm a huge fan of. So it's easy to immediately compare, but then forget that Airplane wasn't first. And this wasn't first in this style of parodying. But it's certainly one of the first ones I remember seeing. It's that kind of thing where it's nowhere near as funny as Airplane. And like I say, I really do believe that Airplane kind of took this and improved upon it big time. But as a starter one, this is a lot of fun. It's stupid. I probably shouldn't like it. It hasn't dated particularly well. But you know what? Like I say, there's a lot of jokes. If you like stuff like National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon, or Kentucky Fried Movie, or even to some extent like the scary movies, it's that same kind of, state the obvious kind of humour. Like you'll say, oh, we're burning here, and they're literally on fire or something. We're on fire and they're literally on fire. It's literal jokes. Brilliant, hilarious performances by Stockard Channing, who she does this in every role I see her in. She does things so deadpan, and yet the sarcasm and the wit, the dryness of her wit is so on point. It's always enjoyable. Always fun to see Larry Hagman turn up in stuff, especially because I loved him in I Dream of Jeannie and that. So seeing him in, younger and some of these more comedic roles is always a good laugh. And even better for me is Rene Auberjonois, who I know from Warehouse 13 and Deep Space. Try that again. Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So that was really weird to see a much younger him in this. It's like I say, it's not as good as stuff like Hot Shots and that, or Airplane. I keep saying Airplane, but I think that's because I can use that as your main. If you love Airplane, I think you will get a kick out of this. It's funny how something, this kind of genre has been done so many times. There's a series on UK TV that's been on recently that tried using the same kind of humour, and I absolutely hated it because it works looking back at something like this, knowing it was one of the, the predecessors and stuff and that, the early parody comedies. But watching it done now just doesn't work for me. But it's funny, like I say, watching this, some of the jokes, I sit there and I giggle. I can't help it. I just enjoy this movie. It's not laugh out loud. It's not the brightest comedy. It's not the most intelligent or even the most enjoyable. But personally, I really enjoy watching it, and I would easily give it a strong 7 out of 10. Just for performances, what it does, and you know what? I think until Speed, the idea of anything going wrong on a bus is probably the silliest idea ever, and they do it so well with this. But yeah, that's all I can say. If you were after the ultimate in cheese and 70s comedy, then this is it. 1976's The Big Bus, the biggest of buses. Yeah, but that was tonight's movie. We'll be back again, as always, tomorrow. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and leave your comments. Please share your favourite movies in the same vein. I might not know of them, so it'll be interesting to hear some titles of stuff that's worth checking out. But thanks again. Please take care. For now, though, this is Sketch. Signing out.